What do we do?
Dance.
How does one become a Reverend Mother?
The Kwisatz Haderach is a form of power that our world has not yet seen.
I have another gift for you, Arrakis.
You want to control people? You tell them a Messiah will come. He gave them something to hope for.
That's not hope!
We are Bene Gesserit. We don't hope, we plan.
Welcome back. My name is Kit.
I'm Andy.
And I'm Steve.
And this is Streaming Things, streaming Dune Prophecy. This time it's episode 4 of season 1, Twice Born. The born so nice, they borned it twice.
Once bitten and twice born. Yeah, you wondered how I could get Last Christmas into this episode? You figured it out.
Was that Old Lang Syne?
No, baby, that was Wham.
Is that the national anthem? Hope you guys are enjoying this Dune coverage. If you're new to the show, you're hopping in right in the fucking middle at episode 4. Good on you. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about our overall thoughts on the episode. And then we're going to talk about a scene-by-scene, play-by-play recap of the entire episode. And we'll break it all down at the end with a few little games. We'll do our spice melange moments. The spice will have a heavy flow. We'll talk about our 3 favorite moments of the episode. And then we'll do some burning truths, Easter eggs, lore, tids and bits, maybe little explainers. That's what that section is. And then
Brian Herbert's always in the corner for that section.
Brian, be quiet and sit down until we tell you.
Get down, Brian.
Put it away, Brian.
Brian. And then the Lisan al-Gaib.
Lisan al-Gaib
will be the last segment there, our favorite performance of the episode.
Spice Girl, if you're nasty.
That's right. That's how we're going to do it. You may notice if you watch on the YouTube or the Patreon video that our cameras are back up and running.
For now.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if that holds out. I got it. HBO sent me this Dune hoodie, so you might have also noticed that I'm looking extra sisterhood above all right now.
It's really funny because on our cameras, they're not good enough to like showcase the cool little pattern on your hood. So you just kind of look like Darth Sidious sitting there.
It's giving Palpatine.
Yeah.
But it's also giving CEO murderer, you know?
Yeah.
A little bit.
Okay. Hold on, guys. You hear police sirens?
I look like I'm about to make sure Steve doesn't jack up my copay.
I'm still going to.
But also crime hoodie. Damon Targaryen crime hoodie.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to commit crimes,
true.
you put on a crime hoodie. That's just true. That's a fact.
It's a really comfy hoodie. It's a little short. It's a little croppy toppy.
Mm-hmm.
It exposes my midriff a bit.
Sisterhood above all, baby.
That's what I'm saying.
They ran out of fabric after that hood, my dude.
That's true.
Yeah, that hood there's a lot.
It's so true. But I do like it a lot. It's a very good hoodie. It's a very good hoodie. So today, we'll start recording our, not as you won't be able to listen to it yet, but it's just a little inside baseball. We're going to record our Severance season 1, episode 1 episode.
Mm-hmm.
And so this Friday, you will be able to begin your Severance season 1 rewatch.
Woo!
In anticipation of Severance season 2, which drops on January 17th. And if you're going to look at your calendars and do some quick math, don't bother. We already did it for you. There will be a week in January where we just fucking
plow through them,
unload some Severance upon you.
Yeah.
And that's going to be like Monday, Wednesday, Friday Severance action.
Come be innies and or outies with us. All right.
Maybe you haven't seen the show yet. You don't understand that reference and it sounds a little bit offensive.
We're going to have a waffle party with them innies. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
What's for dinner, kids?
Other big news.
That's how I'm going to introduce myself to people from now on. What's for dinner, kids?
Doesn't even make any sense. Like, are the kids cooking you dinner? You're a shitty dad. We're just dropping all kinds of references to the people that don't watch that show.
Yeah.
And other big news, the Patreon poll, probably our rowdiest fight
Stop the count
of all time. It was our runners-up poll. We've never done that before. So the December was all the runners-up from the previous months of this year, back in action and Eyes Wide Shut. And and it was crazy, but it was really a heated battle between Armageddon and The Breakfast Club.
Who would have thought that those two movies would meet on the field of battle?
Battle for the ages,
right?
Dude.
So I got on the phones and started campaigning hard. And I told everybody, hey, look, if you're not voting Armageddon or Breakfast Club, you're voting Jill Stein, essentially, guys.
Yeah.
So readjust where you're putting your chips at on this. And so things got heated quickly.
Yeah.
I'll be completely honest. I was hoping for Armageddon.
You were thumbing the scales, weren't you?
Door to
No,
door.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that, but I was just very I'm being honest that I had a horse in there, you know?
Of course.
Breakfast Club is a great movie, but I've seen all the John Hughes. We all have.
Yeah.
I've seen the John Hughes shit a million times. And I haven't seen Armageddon since I was a little kid. And I just thought, from what I remember, that'll be a fun streaming things time.
Yeah.
And I'm sure we could make fun of Breakfast Club and have a great time too.
Sure.
So I wasn't like super pressed about it, but in retrospect, I shouldn't have been hoping for Armageddon. It's way longer.
It's way longer. Yeah. So much longer. On a week that we have to record 4 episodes.
Yeah. The busy month that we're having. I was like, I have regrets. Armageddon won. I don't know if I said that.
Thanks everyone who contributed to that poll. It was a real treat for us just to kind of watch the discourse in the Discord about people campaigning for people to change their votes to Armageddon or Breakfast Club. It was a lot of fun for us to kind of watch. So thank you guys for taking part in that. And I'm really excited to watch Armageddon.
Yeah, it was awesome. And people got
Steve don't want to close his eyes.
I don't want to fall asleep because I will miss you, babe.
And you don't want to miss a thing.
No.
We've got a lot to talk about with Dune. I think that's all the business news to get out of the way. A lot of shit happened. You might not know what happened.
But a lot of shit happened.
But it did happen.
Stuff
That's right.
happened
Where's
in
that
this
little who the characters are sheet? Did I leave that here?
You did. It's right in front of you here behind your computer. That's the envelope. Okay. And then this is the actual paper.
Because some of these people, it's like, who the fuck is that? You know what I'm saying? Okay.
I'm not going to lie. I'll be completely honest with you. The opening scene, I was like, who the fuck is that?
I knew who Emmeline was in theory.
Yeah. In theory, I know who Emmeline is. But like in that context, I was like, huh?
I knew the name Emmeline, but they picked a character. I would like to be a fly on the wall for most watchers of this show that are just casually watching HBO on Sunday nights. Huh?
Yeah. Who dat?
Emma who? But Andy,
yes.
I'm really curious what you thought. And you weren't here for episode 3.
I was not.
What you thought of episode 4.
Well, I watched both of them because otherwise I would have been completely fucking lost. So I enjoyed them both.
I have to watch them back to back.
I did watch them back to back. So I would like to say that made things make more sense, but I'm not sure that that's true. No, this episode was good. We got some Mark Addy action, which was pretty fucking fire. Yeah. I really enjoyed that. I loved the Harrow Harkonnen. He just did such a good job playing like the fish out of water fucking dweeby guy.
Yeah.
And he just has
awkward guy at college energy. Yeah.
Just had something to prove. No, I thought that this episode was really fun. I will say that I thought that this show had hooked me after the agony at the end of episode 2. Mm-hmm. And we haven't had anything that held a candle to that since. So I was really hoping, since this theoretically, right, there's only 2 episodes left. Have they confirmed that there's going to be a second season, or is
no, not to my knowledge.
Okay, so I thought that we were really going to start cooking, and some cooking happens, and that scene's dope. But overall, I think that the show has treaded water a little too hard. And even though I had fun and I loved like the stuff that goes down at the Landsraad and stuff, it did leave me wanting more. So they still got 2 episodes left. There's another 2 hours that they can get the hooks back in. But I'm a little cool on this episode.
He's cool.
Interesting. Andy's a pretty cool guy. I got to say so myself.
Steve, how are you feeling?
So I think this, I agree with Andy. This is I actually really enjoy this episode. I think more than Andy. I don't think I like it as much as the previous episode. I really love Sisterhood Above All. I thought that was a standout
Sisterhood
episode.
Above All?
Sisterhood Above All to you as well. But this episode, even though it's great and I really liked it, this is the first time, and I knew this was coming. I absolutely knew this was coming because we knew this was a very short season. And so I knew that we were going to have a moment where we get to a point where I'm like, oh, this episode would have even been way better if there were more episodes preceding it to allow some of these relationships to flourish. Because there were definitely moments in the show that made me think like, oh, why is the Emperor and this guy like very close to each other now? Mm-hmm. He's clearly off his rocker. There's a couple relationships like Emmeline. Like if we hadn't spent more time with those girls specifically, I wouldn't have been like, who the fuck is that in the first few moments of the episode? Because like I know who Lila is, I know who Jen is, I know who Theodosia is. Emmeline at this point was always the one that was just faded in the background and not really doing anything. So when she popped up and they all wear the same outfits, it was just kind of like, am I supposed to know who that is? Oh, that's Emmeline. But they go
back and forth in time. So it's like, is this young blah, blah, blah. You know, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's a little confusing. But I think if we had more episodes to sort of flesh out a lot of these relationships, there's even a scene in this episode with Constantine and Nez where she's like, "You're the bravest man I know." I'm like, I don't fucking get that at all. Like, sure, this is very much telling rather than showing.
Yeah.
But if we, and I can't believe I'm saying this because like my least favorite part of this whole series is the Kieran, Nez, and Constantine of it all. But if we had more time with those characters, I feel like, oh, maybe I would have cared or believed that statement, but I just didn't.
Well, she's referencing one thing specifically.
Yeah, and again,
when she was kidnapped.
It's more telling, not showing.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? But overall, I think the Landsraad scene is incredible. I love that part. I really enjoy what they're doing with Tula. I think her little mystery is interesting, and I love like the whole scene where they're like frantically drawing on the paper, and the whole everything Harkonnen. Like you get Mark Addy in there, and Harrow Harkonnen is just as enjoyable. Like there's a moment that Harrow Harkonnen literally made me laugh out loud in this episode, and so everything about that is awesome. But I mean, this was the first episode that I felt like, oh man, I wish this season was more than 6 episodes, because I'm really starting to feel like the next couple are gonna have a lot of moments like this where like things are rushed and don't feel organic and just feel like we got to get from A to D real quick. Boom, we're there.
D.
Yeah, Dune. But Kit, what do you think about this episode?
It's a complicated thing for me to answer that question, because like on many levels, I really enjoy this show. Like Andy said, I do think the height was that episode 2 at the end there, like some of the
agony,
camera work and practical effects and stuff that they were using were so like scary and cool. However, yeah, it's losing me. And it's all going to depend how I feel about the show in general. Like they're going to have to stick the landing on explaining some of these mysteries so hard. And I don't want to be negative. I don't want to say like, I don't think they will, because they might.
Mm-hmm.
But like a lot is depending on how this stuff comes together. You know, I'm not super interested in the journey. So I'm like, oh, this destination better fucking rock, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Which is a lot of pressure to put on an episode 6 finale.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see. We'll see. I do think there's some shortcutting silliness that I'm just specifically not used to when it comes to Dune. Like you kind of touched on it. Like, why is the Emperor just fucking kicking it with this sergeant? You know what I mean?
This
Like
Duck Dynasty looking motherfucker
so
in a trench coat.
like if you think about how this society works, that's so fucking weird that he would have ever spoken to that dude, much less like it's fine now that they hang out because like he has superpowers and stuff. Like I get it, but like how would he even, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this soldier has, I don't care. You know, that should have been his answer.
Yeah.
No, feed him. I guess just hose him down. I don't know.
So he can burn people with his mind? Okay, maybe we should kill him before he decides he doesn't like me anymore.
Can
'Cause
all
that's
of the-
fucking scary.
Can all of the pores do that?
I haven't gotten out of the temple in a while. Can they do that now?
Also, they do this thing frequently. It's like the little scary whisper bitches. And
Scary whisper bitches.
And like what is that? What is this? Right? Is there some like
They're all gonna laugh at you.
force?
I think that it is those that have gone through the agony and have touched their past self or their I don't know, what do they call it?
history.
Genetic, memory. Yeah, so those are the ancestors whispering to them.
Oh, so that's just something that happens.
Yeah, so like
That's
from
gotta
now
be-
on, they got great Aunt Marge talking to her about her recipes.
That's gonna be so fucking annoying to be like
More butter.
anything you do in life, just having a bunch of chatty assholes, just like, oh, I don't like that they're wearing those pants with that top. Ew.
You're jerking off again, Jesus Christ.
I wish I could.
I really like that though. That's a good explanation. And there's so much stuff that they do that's really cool. Like you were talking about telling and not showing, but I do think there's some like implied things that are awesome. Like the fact that like Inez keeps bringing up the time that she was kidnapped. Like that's very obviously something that the sisterhood faked to because she says in this episode that the sisterhood is the one, or I think it's Constantine that says it. I didn't even save you there. Like
It's a sisterhood.
I guess the sisterhood did, and so it's like they totally set up that kidnapping and then fixed it
Mhm.
so that they could ingratiate themselves to the Emperor. And it's just cool. Like, I hope they just drop that there and leave it, because like that stuff's neat. But I don't know.
I didn't pick that up, but that's totally what happened.
Ultimately, nice. I am kind of more on Andy's side of this thing, I think. I don't think this show is like super great. I started off strong and I just love Dune, but there's so much like about this that's not Dune-y. You know, this is like the Dune a la The Witcher. You know, storyline type shit. Yeah. And I'm here for, I love The Witcher. It's just, you know, I'm just had to readjust, not just expectations, but like to the vibes. Mm-hmm. And I'm in. Mm-hmm. But, you know, this isn't the Dune that I'm used to.
Yeah.
Not my Dune.
Hashtag not my Dune.
What are you guys even doing here? But we'll see where it goes. We'll see where it goes. But Twiceborn and the Twiceborn thing, they just came out. Ricker said in the Discord, one of our mods and staunch friends was like, "Oh, Twiceborn is Lila because she's going to be reborn in Spice now. It's not Desmond Hart." And I was like, "Oh, how clever!" And then the show is just like, "I think she's the Twiceborn," and it's like, "Oh,
I need you to be born a second time."
That was just like a whole thing. Okay, they're just calling it out there. So now it could either be Desmond or Lila that brings about the reckoning. Mm-hmm. Which is either good or bad. I'm not sure.
Or it could be none of them.
But this, I think it suffers.
It's Harrow.
Yeah, Twiceborn, baby.
It suffers from prequelitis because it's like, oh my God, what's going to happen? Obviously, I know what's going to happen in 10,000 years. You know, like Sister is going to be doing great. You know what I mean? Emperor Carino is going to be doing great. So there's so much like Atreides is going to be doing great and then not. But you know what I mean? It's like, what tension is there for most of these people?
Just the individuals. I think that's all it is tension for individuals. Like what's going to happen? What tragedy will befall them? Will it be one that permanently kills them or like just scars them? I think that's just the only interest.
It is kind of neat that the Harkonnens could have been decent dudes, but Valya is the one that made them pieces of shit. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because like Tula's great. She could have just been married to Atreides, having a good time.
Griffin was great.
Even Evgeny was like, I just want to drink beer and get laid.
I just want to sit back and in my whale furs in fuckholes.
My whale fat lube.
I'm going to do jumps in my floaty wheelchair off this ramp. Leave me alone, Valya, you sorceress.
You sorceress.
I love Marchetti so much, the way he just drips. Dude, he's not even just chewing scenery. He's just like, he's ripping it apart, man. I love it.
That's because that's how Evgeny would eat it.
Yeah,
you know?
It is, yeah.
Let me grind this rail. It's so buttery.
Arrow, get your tall string bean ass in here. I'm going to do a 900 in the living room.
Are you playing Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 612 again?
You're damn right. Listen to that soundtrack, boy.
You don't know kids these days. Great uncle, did you get all the VHS tapes? Oh, they were cassettes.
Cassette tapes, yeah.
You know what I meant.
Yeah, I know what you meant.
There was 8 of them. You had to get them.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Great pull.
All right. But the show starts with the sound of a thumper. And I felt that was like coming home. I was like, yeah, let's thump something, dude. Mm-hmm. Fuck. I want to go to Arrakis.
Tub thumping, yeah.
Thump it. And it's Emmeline. We did find that out. And she hears the whisper bitches, but I don't think she's been through the agony.
Yeah, I know. So that's like, she doesn't know what's going on.
So I wonder if the whispers are the manifestation of fear because there's a point at the end of the episode when I think Valya is talking to Theodosia, or maybe it's Tula talking to Avila. And they're talking about like fear woke them up, not me. And so maybe like this is just, and as we know, who is that mind killer, Andy?
I don't know.
Fear's the mind killer.
Fear's the mind killer.
I was like, they haven't told us
yet. I don't know.
That's the basketball equivalent of me throwing a layup and you not even jumping.
I'm in the stands like, what are we talking about? What sport is this?
But fear is the mind killer, so I feel like maybe...
That's the second time they've hinted at fear is the mind killer.
Yeah, maybe the whispering is something to do with like... fear. I don't know. Like
kills the mind.
If you're scared, you can like somehow that ties you to the agony more, or I don't know.
But it also, what I thought, I like Andy's explanation of what that is, but some of them haven't endured the agony yet. But I thought it's like Dorothea breaking through the barrier somehow. Like she is causing havoc and tension. Like the whispers seem malicious most of the time.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
And I sometimes can hear what they say and I write it down, but sometimes not. And it's interesting that the subtitles never write it. Like they don't want you to know exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But she's having a nightmare. She sees that creepy chick in the background. She follows the creepy chick. Turns out it's her. She's the creepy chick. And she's killing herself the way that Dorothea did.
And her eyes are sewn shut. And there's sand falling out of the ceiling. And
always with the sand.
The pool looks like the mouth of a very shy halud.
Yes.
It's like, I'm in my hiding
I
hole.
do
Go
love
away.
it. The shy halud noises.
What's up?
Nom, nom, nom. They're like Cookie Monster. Oh, wait, that's Yoda.
Do you want spice?
Nom, 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 nom.
Nom, 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 nom.
Spice will flow.
Shy Halud want spice.
Kind of sounds like the French orc.
My daughter's terrified of You did. My daughter's terrified of the Cookie Monster now.
Really?
She went through a Sesame Street phase.
Cookies are sometimes food.
But she has a bunch of Cookie Monster toys from her Sesame Street phase, and sometimes she'll be running around and she'll like kick one, and it'll be like nom 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 cookie, and she'll like run to me, Daddy.
It's trying to eat me.
And when I do the voice, she's really upset.
Daddy, it's the shy halud.
But yeah, so it turns out it's a nightmare. And I also think it's interesting. Apparently, Valya never taught anyone else how to do the voice. Like she totes lied about that.
Yeah, it's secret.
Yeah, nobody knows that she can do that.
Mm-hmm.
I guess she didn't want them to like put 2 and 2 together about how Dorothea died. I don't know, but it's like she's got to teach somebody at some point. But they all seem to be having the same nightmare because Jen wakes up. She's looking around. She's the only one that's not having this dream, which is, ooh, why is that?
I thought it was interesting the way it was edited was like, so Emmeline goes to cut her throat, and then like Jen's like, like she woke up like she was dreaming that she was Emmeline.
That's how they made it look.
But then she was like, I didn't have the dream. But it almost made it seem like she was lying about it.
I think she's not lying because she's the only one awake and everyone else is thrashing in their sleep. And I guess she woke up because of everyone else's moaning and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I wake up when I hear a lot of people moaning.
Yeah. Like, oh, I wasn't invited to the group sesh.
There's a party.
But Emmeline is not in bed, and Jen finds her standing there like by the pool with her blade, and we hear like worms and thumpers and shit. We cut between that stuff, and Jen stops her from Dorotheaing herself, right? And then she wakes,
and the eyes
as if in a dream.
The eyes of the robot are in that
inside
of the mouth of the
shy
Shai-Hulud. Yeah,
What robot?
the eyes of the Decepticon, the blue eyes,
Interesting.
because the camera kind of.
That's what they draw with the
Zooms-
charcoal.
Yeah, it like zooms down the mouth of the Shai-Hulud, and then it's like whoop, 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 the big eyes pop up again.
I see you.
Hi.
Peekaboo. And then we're at the Harkonnen's crib, and there's like a big old painting of a rock dick or something. Is that what that is?
I couldn't
It's
figure
phallic.
I couldn't tell what that was.
It looked like Valya and Theodosia were like, is that a dick?
Is it have we confirmed if they're on Lankavel?
I don't think they are, because at one point,
He goes to the Landsraad.
Evgeny's, the Landsraad seems to be on that planet, but also Evgeny's like, when you left Lankavel. And it's like, you don't say that if you're on Lankavel.
Yeah, when you left here.
Yeah.
It could just be like the Harkonnen embassy is where they're at, and that's
I'm guessing
it could be a whale. I don't know.
Yeah,
Seem to
I think
love
it's like the
whales.
Harkonnen's condo on Seleucus Secundus.
Yeah.
We desperately need title cards saying where we are.
I don't know why they refuse to do that.
Fucking wild.
They do it sometimes, but it's inconsistent.
Yeah.
Mhm. Hey, HBO, I'll help you out. Steve is a graphic designer. He can do that.
I'm not a graphic designer.
Shh, I'm trying to get you some work, dude.
I am a graphic designer with a big penis. That's definitely what's happening over here on this side of the video screen.
No wonder you can't get jobs. You keep putting that on your resume. Huge dick. Also, graphic design is my passion.
10 to 15 years of experience in the field. I'm really good at Illustrator and Adobe Photoshop. I got a big dick.
So what would you say is a weakness?
Where do I see myself in 5 years? Inside your mom. That's where I see.
Interesting. But they're at the Harkonnen's crib. And as soon as he's talking about how fortunes fade, he's just like in the background shitting on Valya at all times.
He's dropping a mixtape on her.
That Richese boy was murdered. blackberry jam.
They remade Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2.
Oh, it's so good. And she is offering her own services as a truth sayer. Remember, we saw in episode 1 that the Harkonnens have never been granted a truth sayer. There's a tiny shitty house. And she's like, how about the Mother Superior personally is your truth sayer? Oh, shit. And then again,
You stood by while your own house clawed its way out of the shit.
you abandoned us. And then the whispers.
I remember it the other way around.
The whispers at that moment are assailing Valya, and you can hear that they're saying,
wanted here.
"Yeah, you're a bitch.
You should never come back.
Nobody likes you.
This house is ruined.
That was what made me think that it's the ancestor voice.
Oh, because they're saying,
Yeah.
we as your ancestors don't like you.
Exactly.
I got you.
Was that a rock dick on the wall? What is that?
In the club, we are not all fam. Yeah. And then she's like interviewing Harrow, trying to flex on him with truth say ability, right? And she's like, Theodosia, tell him what he truly desires. And so she does the truth say click, Oh, yeah.
She clocked in.
And she's like, everyone pities him. It's super bad. It's embarrassing as fuck. He's a premature ejaculator. He's like, wait.
He shit his pants at recess.
People don't forget. He desires respect. That's what he desires.
Mm-hmm.
And then, that's when she offers herself. And she says, I'll get you a seat on the High Council. So Harkonnens aren't even welcome at the Landsraad right now.
No, they're not a major house.
So why are they on Seleucia Secundus in their condo if they're not even allowed to hang out there?
Selling the welfares?
Just proximity.
Well, Harrow was at that
the party with the Emperor.
the pre-engagement party.
True.
Yeah, so maybe he just like went to the party, then the murder was around, and they're like, "No one leave the planet. There's a murder investigation." I don't know.
Why? Well, it's not even considered a murder yet.
That's true.
Why didn't
It was an execution.
Why didn't Evgeny go to the party? He could have floated there.
I don't want to hang out with posers.
He was because he's got like a Vans hat. And he's just greasing up his rails, grinding.
They don't even know my high score in Tony Hawk.
I got a pair of soaps.
Ooh, he's got like the Healy chair. Inez is looking fly as fuck at the royal dinner. Desmond is there as well.
Would you
Again,
consider that a brunch?
it does look like there's mimosas being served. It does appear that way.
Yeah, Desmond Hart is getting white
three
girl
Bloody
wasted on
Marys
some.
Oh, we're having breakfast with killers now, right? And she's talking openly about the rumors about Pruitt's death. And again, Desmond he's like, yeah, I killed him. I killed a kid. A kid? Is that what you're talking about? Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was me.
Like he never denies that.
Wait, you're accusing me of murder? Which one?
Yeah.
Which kid?
Which kid? Yeah, you're gonna have to be very specific.
I do it a lot.
Oh yeah, that was me. Yeah, that was me. I did that.
And she specifically says that there's rumors of a murder of Pruitt. And he's like, people are talking about me behind my back. And then I did like the moment where Constantine like laughs when she's like, that's the definition of a rumor.
Yeah.
He loves his sister. He's like, she's so funny, dude. She's so funny, Dad. You have to admit. But they say, hey, you're not going to Wallach 9 anymore. You're not going to be a sister. She's like, I'm still going to go be sister. Like sister above all. We can all agree on that, right?
Nah, we can't.
It's like above several things, but not all.
We're very much against the sisterhood.
Yeah.
Sisterhood below all. That's what we're about.
And he blames the emperor blames Constantine for being a man whore for all of the drama that's happening
taking
right
lady
now.
to the treehouse.
And then
we had to disinfect the whole tree.
Yeah, that's not your treehouse.
That's
the whole family's treehouse, and you always fucking there.
That's your mother's reading nook. All right.
It does look like a reading nook.
It looks very.
And
comfy.
you're always in there
does look
just
cozy.
clapping cheeks. So embarrassed. Like I took a black light in there one time.
Good God.
Jackson Pollock.
Good God. And she openly accuses Desmond, and he's like, yeah, I do that all the time. And he says, look, man, that kid violated our first and highest law. And
No
Furbies.
No girls allowed. No. Oh, no Furbies. That should be the first and highest law.
yeah, those things are
Oh, shit. It's a thinking machine.
sort of. I don't think very much.
Hello. Kill it.
And Inez is like, look, we're not going to be united as long as he stands at your side. Because Dad's like, look, we got to be a united front here. We got to be a family.
Mm-hmm.
We got that Grand Canyon vacation coming up. I think it's going to bring us all together.
Yeah.
And then we cut to Tula, who's hearing the little whispers. She's being interviewed. She's interviewing Jen and Emmeline about like the nightmare orgy that took place the night before. And she's like, they're very suspicious about what happened to Mother Dorothea at this time.
Yeah.
Her quote unquote suicide.
I did pick out one of the voices that were whispering her said, "You can't lie forever."
Yeah, you're failing to do your part, and you can't lie forever.
Oh, okay. So some guilt there.
Hashtag Andy's trying to be right.
And Emmeline was using truth sense on Tula while she was saying what happened to Mother Dorothea. Oh, she's like, "Are you truth saying me right now, bitch?"
Bitch.
Which, they should be a little more prepared for that, teaching them how to do that and then lying to them all the time. It's like that's a rough thing
Dude,
to do.
if I could truth sense, that thing is, I'm just going to.
You just have it clicked.
Yeah.
You only have to click it once and you just don't unclick.
Right. It's just always on. Like, are you truth sensing? Oh, yes. Am I breathing? Yes.
You would look like you were trying to get me with the thing, where I punch you. You know what I'm talking about?
What?
Where you touch your index to your thumb and you're like, hey, check this out. And then you get to punch them in the arm because they looked. You looked.
Oh, yeah. 2 for flinching?
Yeah, classic game. Are you truth saying or are you trying to get me with the thing? Because I see it. Anyway, and in this is the scene where Jen claims she did not have the dream. And it could be, the reason I think that Jen's not lying is she is different than all the other girls. Like she is not drinking the Kool-Aid. She tried to tell Lila, like, nobody cares about you here. Like, this is just 3 hots in a cot. Sisterhood's bullshit.
Maybe since all these
also, she's Irish.
It's true. Maybe since all these younger students seemingly have like an individual power or something to them, like maybe Jen's is she can like astral project into other people's minds or something, and so she was watching Emmeline's nightmare. I don't know. I'm trying to think of.
Everybody has a super special power.
That's what they're kind of leaning into.
Super good at hula hoop.
I know they're making it like Xavier's Academy here.
Mm-hmm.
They're the ex-women. Then we cut to the High Council at the Landsraad, and we hear about a bunch of different houses: Yasu, Hagel, Gangbala, Vernius, Yaufrix. And, the Landsraad is a governing body. That guy's cool.
It is kind of funny because when I always thought of the Landsraad, I don't know why I always I don't know what I pictured, but it's kind of funny seeing like, hello, welcome everyone to the government chamber. It seems very like, in my mind, I'm like, the Landsraad's like the fucking Galactic Senate in Star Wars, right? But it's like, nah, it's just like,
it definitely is.
Hey, we got 30 exters and a couple desks.
This is definitely a TV version.
Let's do our cute little salute, and we're clocked in.
Parliament. And then we cut to Desmond reading, and it turns out what he's reading is Kasha's old sisterhood book. It's like a pop-up book and stuff. It says sisterhood above all. And he's like laughing at it. What you seek is seeking you. All the sisterhood tenets. And he's like, trash. That's dumb.
That is one of the like bullshit metaphor. What you see, what is blank is blanking. It's just like the reversal sort of things. Like that stuff's always like, okay.
But it's kind of like a jock reading Voltaire or something is what it looks like to me. Like he's just like, gay.
Yeah.
It's what it looks like he's doing. So
or the pictures.
He's burning the page of the book. The emperor thinks that's weird. He's like, hey, man, not super into reading.
It's kind of a fire hazard.
He's like, did you spread the rumor about you killing Pruitt? And I would never use the truth against you. And I love that was his reply. Because like I totally did kill that kid. I would never use the truth against you. I just thought that was funny, a funny way to respond. But Desmond wants him to remove all of the truth sayers from all of the houses. And the emperor's like, yeah, that's a real good way to make it look like I murdered that kid.
Yeah, like I'm taking away your truth sayers. Trust me, I'm right.
Yeah, right as I tell you, no, I didn't do that. I want to remove all the truth sayers, right?
Yeah.
And Desmond is a huge fan of the movie Almost Famous. And he's like, be bold and mighty forces will come to your aid. That's basically what he says right here. Use me. And then the emperor gets uncomfortable. He's like, I don't know how sex with you is going to help anything right now.
But I'm interested.
Yeah, I'm not saying no.
This isn't a no. This is a try again in a week.
He's like, no, the Imperium needs stability. I would like to go to your treehouse, Emperor. Not right now.
It's being cleaned.
He says, the time to snuff a fire out is when a fool lights a match, not after your house burns down around you.
That's a good line.
I said no. And then we meet Dury with the worst nickname of all time. That's why they call me Dury. Don't worry. Nobody calls you that, Dury. Stop trying to make that happen.
It's not going to happen.
That's his favorite Ixian.
That's why they call me Dury Big Dick.
But
I'm so glad we finally got to hear how to pronounce that word. I think last episode I was trying to do some like burning truths about the Ixians. I'm like, I don't know how to pronounce this word. I've never heard it spoken aloud.
I mean, it's basically phonetically pronounced.
Well, yeah, but X's are always weird because it could be like an H sound.
Isian.
Yeah, it could be a Z sound.
I don't think it's ever an H.
I think in
I'm gonna call
some
bullshit on
cultures,
that.
Yeah, it's kind of like a H.
In some cultures.
What's that cheese? Oaxacan cheese or
You made
Oaxacan?
that up.
From Munda.
Yeah.
You made that up.
Oaxacan.
That ain't no cheese. I know about Colby.
Yeah.
Pepper Jack.
Oh, tell me more.
Swiss.
The fanciest cheese I know is Gouda.
Kraft American.
Don't sleep on the Gouda.
Gouda's good. But yeah, Kieran Atreides is there.
Oh,
He's-
Oaxaca. Yeah. Oh, Oaxaca cheese. That's what I'm. Yeah.
Sure, buddy. And he's buying a bomb, a thinking machine drone bomb from Dury. Don't worry. We cut back to their little.
Why would you want a thinking machine drone bomb? Like if you're like, okay, bomb, go blow up the Landsraad. No, I don't think I want to do that.
Well, it's just a computer, so they put the schematics in there.
I know. It's just funny to call them thinking machines.
Yeah.
In this context, yeah. I don't want to do that.
No
I'm
thanks.
tired of blowing up.
That's one of the
If you think about it, it's like one and done for me if I do that. I'm like a bee.
I don't want to be that.
I'm a bee that doesn't want to sting anybody. The bar, this hive of scum and villainy where they're always hanging out, and the drone has a thermal bomb. That's what they're saying. It's for the throne room. They're, the little rebellion is in there meeting about the bomb that they got from Dury. Don't worry. I'm trying to make it happen for Dury. And he's like, and the one guy's like, then the spice will finally flow. Yes, good. Michaela.
Before we overthrow the entire galactic government, though, let's get fucked up. Let's party.
Do you guys want to vape? Yeah. Let's vape one last time. And Michaela asks Atreides, remember, she's already snitched on him to Valya. She's working for the Sisterhood. Asks if he's sure he's up for this. Are you sure? Are you sure? You're ready to like kill everybody? He's like, yeah, totes.
That includes Nez.
Valya is recording a voice message. She's one of those older ladies that like voice texts people, which is the worst. Like, this is not saving time for me. You're
Tula,
being selfish.
You'll never guess where I am. Sad emoji. Poop emoji.
Rock dick emoji.
Oh, shit. I somehow opened my camera.
She also had a dream that was not pleasant, like Kasha. Remember, Kasha had a dream before she, what's all happening to the acolytes is what happened to Kasha. It's interesting, man. I don't know. It's all over the place.
It's also interesting. We get to see like all these cool visions from like Kasha and the agony and the
miss Kasha.
acolytes. I do too.
I'm sad Kasha died.
Same.
She was
great.
the best.
R.I.P. girl. But we never see any of Valya's visions ever. Like she's such a secret even to the show, to the viewer. It's interesting. Like she's gone through the agony. We didn't see the agony. She's like, I had an awful nightmare. Didn't see the awful nightmare.
I think we will see her agony.
I think so eventually.
We're going to see young Valya and what she saw before the show is over. And that's going to be a reveal. And why she's like all crazy like she is. But yeah, Theodosia's watching her like leave that voice text, and she's like losing faith in her boss, I feel like, because she sees her weakness there,
Like, I didn't sign up to come hang out with your family for a couple days. That seems very unprofessional.
What is that painting? It's driving me nuts. But she deletes the text, and she plans on saving the Emperor's life in everyone's full view. So she wants the assassination to continue as planned so that she can get back in the Emperor's good graces. And she's like, I'm going to do it like this.
She's got super mad knife skills all of a sudden.
In this fighter. Well, they all have it. It was just, we're not seeing a lot of it. Like they do the weirding way fights and stuff. You can see when Tula is scared at the end of the episode. She like has a stance when she's going into the darkness in the computer room.
I know Krav Maga.
Which is, it's so funny that she's like been working so hard to save Lila. And she's like, I might have to stab you.
Hey.
I don't want to.
You don't know what's going to come out of that box. Did the little spider thing, the little Harkonnen spider reminded me of that weird spider-esque creature from the first Dune that was like a person spider. Do you remember that?
No.
It was like a brief scene when the Mother Superior talks to
with the Mentat
with the Mentat, and they do the cone and silence, but it starts with like this weird spider monster.
She makes him leave.
Yeah, she's like, "What the fuck is that? Get it out of here!"
And the Harkonnens are like, "That's my dude. That's Gary." He's like, "Meow."
He knows that shit.
Don't hurt Gary.
Gary must leave.
Okay.
Aww. Yeah, she's like, look, we can't just attack Desmond in full view. We don't understand our enemy yet. We gotta like cripple him and
Diminish his strength.
Evgeny's like, that's a low blow.
Is that a joke at my expense, you sorceress?
And she's also got to get her nephew on the High Council, and she knows a way to do that. She's going to use the rumors. They're all big Adele fans.
Rumor has it.
Thank you. We were both there, buddy. We cut back
No
to
Fleetwood Mac. You went with Adele.
No, those are rumors.
the rumors. Yeah. This episode of Streaming Things is sponsored by BetterHelp.
BetterHelp.
You know, Steve, there's something I need to get off my chest.
What's that, fella?
It's been weighing on me. You know that I resigned at the day job recently, right? And I've been a little scared. There's a family to worry about. There's health insurance. There's capitalism.
Sounds like a stressful time.
But we all carry around different stressors, big and small. And it feels better when you bring something to the light. We keep them bottled up. It can start to affect us negatively. And therapy is a safe space to get things off your chest and to figure out how to work through whatever's weighing you down. In my case, it's all of the stress, the misery, the fear. But I had to come over here and share that with you, and I felt better. You know, that's a real thing that happened.
Yeah.
Unloading all that on you and Erica and feeling better myself.
That sounds like my Friday night.
Sometimes you just need somebody to listen. So if you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. If you're not vibing, that's completely fine. So get it off your chest with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/streamingthings to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/streamingthings.
Hey there, all you ho-ho-hos. Happy holidays from every one of us over here at Streaming Things. During the holidays, it is incredibly important to look back and be thankful for all of the people in your life. And we here are so thankful for all of you for supporting and listening to the show. And we want to give a special shout out to our super patrons for the month of December 2024. We're closing the year off right. Let's shout them out. Thank you so much to Nice Guy Eddie, Albus Stinkpot, Maddlestat, Susie Callahan, Anthony Corona, Jim X, Lady Tarashli, Just Liz Calabria, Mike from New Hampshire, Brett X, E. Scramo, Lil Tickler, Svento7, Jay Scramo, Bloff Pum, AK Ashley Ray, Adam Busby, Big Butt Horn, Jer Latanovich, Kaylee Sampson, Rabbit Dog in a Barbie Car, Elbander, Charlie Friday, Alexis Adler, Peaches, Emmy, Haley B, Joe Velez, Stanton Valentino, Trisha Bueller, Sun Loving Mortal, Suzanne Road, Jadinklage Morgoon, Jen Robinson, Kloop, Kalisha Reeves, Paula Garcia, Brenda, Aaron Armstrong, Kevin Strother, Ashley Powers, Stephen V, Casey McCain, and of course, Enza. Thank you all so much for supporting the show, and we hope you all have a happy holiday. Now let's get back to the episode.
The Shady Lords are at the Hive of Scum and Villainy, and they've also, that one guy's got a machine, and it looks like a tiny version, like a Lego version of the torture droid from,
Yeah.
you know? Or no. It looks like the scout droids that Maul sends.
Yeah.
The three of them that he sends on Tatooine.
Yeah, the dubstep droids.
That's what he's doing.
That's a great little. That was great, Andy. That was really good.
He got one. He got an impression. It's not super flexible.
It has its uses. We'll bring it back.
We get a Mentat mention.
Yeah, we did.
Which I was really stoked about.
Mentat drop.
Mentats have said that the odds of that are like 2.5 million to 6. They're basically spilling tea everywhere.
Yeah, because I guess they're
like he uses the treehouse. And you know,
I just love how like that Mentat line is basically like the odds of a child spontaneously combusting is
yeah, we needed a Mentat for
1 in 2.5 million. Like, so is that it?
So that does happen like frequently-ish.
Well, I mean, 1 in 2.5 million.
It's rare.
As many humans as there are spread across this
that
galaxy.
Like pretty frequently.
It's like
there's like 14 of those for every lottery winner.
Right.
And then we do throughout all of this, we get the like the whisper action. And that's when Harrow comes in and he's like, look, hey, I don't want to be awkward, but the Landsraad ends tomorrow, and I have yet to be invited. Shouldn't you be sistering?
You've been hanging out here, eating our cheese puffs, beating great uncle's high score in Tony Hawk. He's really pissed
just to
about
be a
it.
dick.
Yeah.
The trick is manuals. And then that is true, by the way. That pisses me off because I'm a vert guy.
Yeah.
And you can just get so many more points with manuals.
Oh, you got to do manual and grind, and you just got to keep the score going.
Over and over and over. It's such a cheating way. Anyway, it makes me mad. But at that moment, the elevator opens and 2 members of the High Council are there.
Yeah.
I don't know what houses they're from. And
You were saying.
yeah, right in front of him too. She's like, check this out.
Yeah. Because these guys want to like lodge an official complaint against the emperor to open up an investigation into the death of the Richese boy. But to do so is paramount or like tantamount to treason. So they're like, well, we don't want to do that because we don't want to risk our station. Why don't we like find some nobody from a nobody house that that can take the fall for us? And they're like, oh, the Harkonnen kid, why not?
Well, this is actually kind of brilliant because that's Valya's idea.
Yeah.
That's how she knows she can get him in there. So I do love this. Like, this is genius.
Because there's that scene where she has all the sisters sort of like
She's putting the
spread it out,
idea
yeah.
to use the Harkonnens as the scapegoat because she knows like that's the only way to combat the reputation that they have to get him in the High Council. But she's going to save Harrow's ass by saving the Emperor right in the middle of that. Like, she's got it all planned out.
Yeah.
And it's brilliant. But they think they've had the idea of, using the Harkonnen as a shield, but also getting an inquest into the death of Pruitt Richese. And he's like, outstanding work. You know?
Oh my God.
Is that the moment you laughed?
I laughed so hard because like, can I have a moment with my Trusair? He doesn't get up and leave, but he like turns around and does like, the
mouth cover.
He's like, outstanding work. This is so fucking dope. Cool.
I just went from 6 to midnight.
And Valya, you're the coolest.
Yeah.
Let us begin the business meeting.
And they believe a formal inquiry should be launched into the death of the kid, and they want him to open the inquest. And he panics, right? Like, whoa, wait. We should ask Evgeny. And no, he's a bitch. Don't do that.
Yeah. No one is above the law, not even the president. I mean, emperor.
That's right. Emperor Carino has 34 felonies. Tula has an experiment where they all eat some spice crackers.
Let's all get high and draw.
Body of Christ.
They're doing a, what's it? What is it? A paint and sip? They're doing a paint and sip.
Yeah. Draw what you see with the charcoal. So they're all meditate drawing. They're all, and it starts off, they're all different, but eventually they're all drawing the same thing. They're all drawing the circles, which they originally think is the pool in the center, which kind of is, but it's also the mouth of a Shai Hulud, a very Shai Hulud.
A very Shai Hulud. Hide up in this pool.
Sister old lady comes in. She's like, you must stop this.
We do not paint and sip.
Sister old lady.
It's Sister Avila. We found out last week. That's her
Okay.
name. Yeah. But they won't stop drawing. They won't wake up at Tula's behest. They keep drawing, and then they're all drawing eyes in the darkness, but like a negative drawing.
The reckoning is here.
It would have been a lot quicker just to draw dark eyes and leave the paper white, but it is more scary if they color all the paper except for the eyes.
That would have taken a really long time.
Yeah. They're drawing fast and furious.
Yeah.
If I had enough free
mile at a
time,
time.
I would take all of the scenes with the eyes and just replace the eyes with googly eyes because that would just be really funny to me.
Everything everywhere all at once.
Yeah.
Or if they were all drawing dicks. Big, veiny, triumphant bastards. The reckoning is here.
They're all drawing that weird S thing that everyone did in high school.
That's so cool. That was on every Trapper Keeper I had.
Oh, yeah.
The Queen visits Desmond, and he's like sitting behind the desk. I don't know where he got an office, but he's there.
What does a guy like Desmond do at a desk? What's he doing there?
I don't know. He's like tapping for
Not
sure.
reading.
He's got like a tech deck, you know, a little skateboard. Yeah.
It's all about the manual.
But she gives him the imperial surveillance files. She knows which people are dealing in thinking machines. And it's like they've been ignoring it, right? Because it's like, we need them or whatever. Like, let them have their little vibrators and stuff, whatever they're using.
Vibrators. Classic thinking machine.
And it is the Queen that leaked the truth about the death of Pruitt Richese. Haviko just needs a little push.
The Queen of Sintra?
That's right. You know how she works.
Yeah, she don't play games.
She's the Lion of Sintra. Desmond, I guess there's like Popo. He charges the police with finding the machine sympathizers.
Mm-hmm.
Like, look at this. I gave you all the
gold cloaks.
Yeah, they're like the City Watch. Kieran and his buddy, they're at the vape bar. They're chucking clouds.
Righteous, but not pure.
And Nez shows up. And we get a little bit of lore tidbits about how Vorian rejected the throne. And it's like, yeah, that's why being an emperor sucks. We knew we like to party too much. We like to fuck and hunt bulls. And we're all out of bulls.
And get poisoned.
Yeah. No, we didn't know that was going to happen.
It was a little bit of a confirmation that old Oscar Tully, it wasn't Atreides, and he's...
Yes, that is 100%.
Kieran's dad, yeah.
My ancestors, my grandfather, whatever, survived an atrocity. And she says that Desmond killed Pruitt and Kasha. He's admitted as much. And she wants advice on a vague action, which, by the way, Atreides finds out never a good idea to give advice on vague actions.
Right.
Because later he's like, oh, this is what you're talking about? This is a terrible idea.
Oh, shit.
But he says, sometimes you got to burn a thing down before you can save it. That's what I'm literally about to do to your dad. And then they kiss after he says his father survived an atrocity.
That's a kiss.
He says, no, we can't.
I can't do it.
I'm also trying to follow the right path too.
I'm trying to stop clapping your cheeks. Theodosia notices the portrait man is the locket man, essentially.
It Griffin.
The man on that picture is in your locket. I have the rock dick in my locket? No, the other picture. Oh, that's my brother Griffin. What happened to him? I love this bit because it's kind of like sassy because she says, what happened to him? I didn't bring you here to ask me questions. And then she answers that with a question. But why did you bring me here? Like if I was Valya, I'd have been like, oh, real smart ass thing to do.
Bitch.
And she says, you know why I brought you here. Oh, I will not do that ever again.
I said never.
It's not a talent. When we find out at the end of this episode what it is that they're talking about, I'm very confused about the way in which she employed it. And I can't wait to talk about it with you guys.
Okay.
Yeah. Can we just skip to that?
No, but I am just so confused. But then they cut to Tula and Avila. They're analyzing the drawings that the girls did. And they talk about how eventually they're all different at first, as if they approach the same vision from a different angle. But then the images all converge on the sand, the Shai Hulud, the well, and the eyes, of course. And Avila says, the fear awoke them. And I don't think this scene works. I think it's corny as fuck. And it's a very fear is the mind killer origin story thing that's really funny to me.
Oh, that's the mind killer.
But she's like, the fear is what woke them. Something so fucking scary. It's like Five Nights at Freddy's in there. And they were like, ah. And then, but Avila, all of a sudden, all business, all, for Valya, is all of a sudden like, we should tell everybody this is crazy. And Tula's the one who's like, no, we should hide it because fear is the mind killer. But we still haven't got the catchphrase down yet. I'm workshopping it.
Fear is the little death.
Yeah. Then we cut to Nez, who's talking to Constantine about going to the High Council. She's like, we need to tell everybody in public that Desmond killed them.
But what about Daddy?
Dad's going to be mad, so mad.
Daddy's going to take away my allowance.
I'm scared. No, you're not. You're brave.
I'm
You tried
so
to
scared.
save me.
I failed.
The sisterhood saved you. I know, but you tried like a motherfucker, dude. Just you trying is what actually saved me emotionally. That's what she's trying to say.
That feels like a consolation prize.
And that's the moment where I was like, the sisterhood set up the kidnapping. Oh. Because that's the only things they stop are things that they caused.
Yeah.
Like the rebellion that's happening now.
Yep.
But they all get dressed for the council. There's a little bit of everybody's getting on their dressed to the nines.
Haviko's putting on them rings. Natalie's getting her crown. Harrow's joining the Landsraad. All kinds of stuff. Constantine's brooding.
He's brooding.
Harrow's just got a boner walking in there. He's having a good time.
It's happening.
I'm going to sell so much whale fur. Valya notices that the cops are there. She sits right above all. She notices everything. And then the queen tells Haviko to address the accusations head on, right? Like, just be a man for once. He sees Constantine and he's like, oh, I'm so glad I could rely on you. And that breaks Constantine because he knows he's there to actually shit on his dad. So he's like, I just came to wish you good luck.
Yeah.
So he bitches out. Carino enters the Hall of Justice, whatever it is, the Landsraad.
Yeah.
And I like the little herald guy. Because he's like kind of cunty about it.
Oh yeah,
May your rain shine like the 1,000 stars or whatever.
Oh my God, I laughed so hard when he's like, may his rain shine as long as the stars, and then everyone repeats it, but it's so out of unison, like may the rain shine as the stars.
Because they're not pro Carino.
Yeah,
you know?
that's why I love it.
And Valya sees Kieran leave, and she's like, okay, plan in motion, get my knife ready. When I see that spider or whatever, I'm going to skid it. And
Yeet!
he just goes into some old dude's neck. Yeah. I missed.
Then the bomb just goes off.
Damn, they're so much faster than spiders. But Inez is looking for Constantine. It's not working out. Baron Harkonnen has the floor. Uh-oh. And he starts off weak. He doesn't even face the Emperor. He's just like, a violation of Conley. We all know about the strictures of vendetta. Your house knows the forms better than anyone. They play PlayStation 2 games. And he's like,
Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4 is better than any game you have.
Evgeny's out there.
Yeah. He stands up.
How dare you?
You said pro tater for a second.
I did.
What's taters?
Precious.
That's the game Gollum plays. Pro tater. That's so funny.
Manual.
It's so dumb. Manual. But at this point, Baron Harkonnen says, I request a formal inquest into the death of Pruitt Richese. And they're like, the Herald guy's like, into what house? But at that moment, before Harrow Harkonnen can damn himself, Inez shows up and says, the Imperial House. Mine, by the way. It's
My
not clear.
house.
If it's not clear.
Welcome to my house.
And Kieran sees her. He's like very openly in front of everybody opening the vent.
What?
So stupid. I was just checking this. I put some weed in here.
Oh shit, there's no air coming out of this one.
I was going to vape and blow it in here so I didn't bother you guys.
Sorry.
So he's like about to abandon ship on the plan, right? But she accuses Desmond Hart. And yeah, I don't know why I have that quote or who said it or why, but it says she did it for you. She just did it for, she's talking to Harrow and he's like, what happens now? Oh my God. And she just did it for you. So things are still kind of going to plan as far as the Harkonnens are concerned, but not as far as the sisterhood's concerned. But Kieran's homies are all caught. They're brought in and then Desmond takes this as his cue. He's like, look, I did it. I'm not going to lie.
You want order?
Arrakis has a bunch of shit trying to kill you. He talks about the desert owls, the scorpions, the spiders, and the wasps. I did kill the kid, but it wasn't a murder. It was an execution.
Execution.
And then he exposes the drone at that point. And I got to say, they could have detonated that bomb still. Because all he did was get the drone and just bring it into the room himself. Like, not a great idea.
Look, guys, it's a bomb. There's a timer on it.
See?
It's getting real low. I don't know what these symbols mean, but it's getting real small.
And he goes up to the Lord who was in the vape bar with the thinking machine, the drone from Phantom Menace, Andy. You had one job. I did all that work to bring it back. But it's the Lord that had that thinking machine that he goes up to when he says there will be no exceptions. Oh, I thought it was very, very malicious and well done. But all of the men that are arrested and that Lord begin to burn.
Yeah, on your order, your majesty.
And he bitches out on that. He's just
He just doesn't know. Like, but Mark Strong's performance is so interesting because he the way he nods is almost like, okay, but I kind of can you burn 4 people at once?
This is gonna be fucking crazy.
This is gonna be crazy. I think it's cool that he doesn't want to hurt anybody. He's just like a super chill guy, meme emperor. You know, I'm just a chill guy.
Well, it's like
I'm just trying to let spice flow to us.
It's like what Kieran Atreides says earlier, where it's like, I'm sure he is a good man, but like once you get in a position of power like that, your only goal is to hold on to that power. So like, even though he might be like a good dude outside of that role, he's still willing to like, burn motherfuckers. I like being emperor.
So you said those were Kieran's homies? I thought that those were like lords and stuff.
No, one of the guys was the guy who sold him the bomb. It was Dury. Don't worry.
Around?
Yeah, Dury's worrying now.
One of the guys is the dude he was getting high with and hatching the plan with.
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
One of the guys was in the bar with a thinking machine at one point, and then there's also the Lord that
Gotcha.
was also there.
With the thinking machine. Now, separate from this plot, he just likes thinking machines.
Yeah.
And that's where they're like, we're not going to stand this anymore.
Yeah. I love the little bit. I love the analogy that Desmond makes where like, yeah, he names like the owl and the scorpions and the wasps and all that shit. And he's like, and then there's the biggest one of all, the devil himself. And when he shows up, you're almost happy that he shows up because it means all the other predators
terrifying
are
as it
terrified
is.
and they
Devil
fear
too.
him. They fear the devil too.
Yeah, that's I'm the devil in this instance. And it's really well done.
Well, yeah, he's the devil, but he's like, he's the devil, wink, and pointing at the emperor. Like,
Yeah.
he's the shy halud. I'm just the very shy halud.
I love the part where the camera goes into his eyeball to the Arrakis moon, like match cut. And then we see the thumper and some Shai Hulud shit. And then it comes out his other eye. But killing 4-5 people at once was too much. He collapses.
Yeah, that POV scene is evocative, but it also looked like a cinematic for a video game.
Yeah, it did.
like I expected when the Shai Hulud took over the camera, it'd be like coming out on PlayStation and Xbox in 2025.
That was cool, though.
Yeah.
Some of those are good.
Yeah.
I like video games.
Yeah, I like video games.
They're fun.
And he's like bleeding through the back of his shirt. And as he walks out, he leaves some blood on Valya's table. And she's like, ew.
Ew. Gross.
Harrow returns home, gets a stiff drink, and Evgeny laughs because he doesn't know that 5 people just died. It sucked, didn't
Have our
it?
fortunes been restored? How was the Landsraad? Did she make you queef at lunch?
Sorceress.
She does that all the time.
But Valya has his blood that he dropped there on like a hanky. And she's like, we can trace it through the breeding index and find out exactly who he is. Because without doubt, Tula is holding it down and not doing anything crazy as fuck.
Right.
Havoko visits the wounded/scarred Desmond. And it's like that scene in the Wolverine movie where he's like, when they're like, does it, it's like the first X-Men, I think, when she's like, does it hurt? When the like spikes come out and he's like, every time. That's what it reminded me of. Because apparently it like cuts open his skin every single time he does that. I think we're losing all the theories about it, that he's a robot and stuff. And like, I think he really is just a magician.
Well, he did his little whisper before they burned again. So it's something to do with his mouth. He's spitting fire. He goes,
Ooh.
"Tss," and then people are like, oh my God.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah. Every time he's burned
He's
people,
so there's a Hawk-Tua element to his
There is.
power. Okay.
He's
there's
releasing
some
crypto.
insider trading.
And he's like, that's why I came to you, because of the pain. Emperor, Daddy, I love you. And here you shall stay, son,
Son.
under the blanket.
Come on, let's get you a nice hot
Treehouse.
Oh, I misread the vibe.
Starts buttoning his shirt back. We cut the acolytes on Wallach 9 are in the cone of silence, and they are like being radicalized. They're full Dorothea. No lies. We're sick of this bullshit. Tula oblongata my ass. Right? They're
Emmeline's leading them, right?
yeah, she's getting fully Dorothea'd, right? And
Dorothea build.
Tula's in the server room with Lila. There's a huge Fortnite update. She's waiting for that to go through. And she's like, you are the twice-born. I know it. You're the key to the reckoning.
See all the spice that you're in right now?
And then Emmeline finds Tula, just wanders into the tunnel. You murdered Dorothea and Ori. Is like, how's she know about that? But it's just a nightmare, right? I'm gonna
tell everybody.
I'm going to speak the truth to the whole of the Imperium. I'm glad this was a dream, because I was like, I don't think we can keep doing this podcast. This is terrible.
Well, I knew it was a dream. I knew it was a dream.
I'm ashamed to admit I did not.
Really? As soon as the like sand was falling out of the
Yeah, that's a good clue.
ceiling, I was like, oh, good. This is because if that was true, I would have been like,
Oh, I thought she left the door open for Emily, and so maybe there's sand coming in too. He's like, you can't stop me like you stopped her. And it was like, oh, I'll just stop you exactly like I stopped her, even though I didn't stop her. It was my
I'm
sister
Tula,
Valya. Yeah.
seemingly the nicest person in the show, but also the one with the highest body count.
I have killed 43 people.
Yeah.
Even the younglings. But she kills her, and then that's when she wakes up. It was a nightmare. Lila is awake, but not in the bed. And they named the computer after Mother Raquella. Anarul, wake up.
Anarul.
And then we see a blue-eyed, spice-ridden Lila, who seems to be herself and not like a different personality like I feared. And she goes, where am I? And they look around. And it's the computer room.
Fortnite is loaded.
No, Tula's like, I'm going to show you Mario Kart. Watch the shells.
Double dash, baby.
And that's, we cut back to Valya and Evgeny. He needs his inhaler really badly.
I hate this scene.
It was a very long, it was supposed to be like, oh my God, she's killing her uncle. But it's like, of course she is. Like,
and it's just like these dumb, like looking at the cameras, walking towards her and away from her. And I'm just like, this is dumb.
Yeah. If that inhaler is that important, you can keep that shit on the chair, dude.
You have a spare.
Like you're going to straight die if you don't get it immediately,
I love it. It's very stage play to me, and I do like stage play shit. So when they're like walking slowly in a circle, yelling at each other, like I just picture just being in an audience watching them on stage doing that.
I just don't think it works like they want it to work. Like, it's not a crazy thing that she would kill him. Like she's hardcore. She didn't like him at all.
Mm-hmm.
And he's comically anti-Valya. And it's silly to me. Like, she's got your inhaler that you apparently need in the next 13 seconds. And I never liked you. You suck. Give me that. Seriously, though. You fucking bitch. It's like, you need to sugar it up a little bit, get your inhaler, and then talk shit.
If I could admit to something real quick about how dumb I am, this whole scene played out. I didn't realize she had his inhaler. I thought she just talked him to death. and then it cuts to her holding an inhaler. I'm like, oh, I guess he needed that.
Yeah, she grabs it off the table.
I think I might have like looked down to type something and didn't catch it. So it just, from my perspective, they're just like, I'm going to yell at you a bit until I die. And that's why I was like, fuck yeah. That's how I want to go out, just berating someone I hate. I mean, that dude, as soon as you see him, they make Mark Addy look so much older than he is. I mean, he's no spring chicken, but he doesn't look like that. He doesn't look like a corpse with a beard. And like he's coughing the whole time. Like that dude he would have one foot in the grave if it had not been for the fact that he's floating in a wheelchair. Like this, I don't know. I love Mark Addy, and I liked him yelling at her.
Yeah, well.
You are a black hole on our family.
You led Griffin to his grave, and you tricked poor Tula.
Poor Tula. I love that line she says of like, I don't need sorcery to destroy you. Your own weakness has always sufficed. Like, I just love I love that idea of her just like, you're not even worth my time, dude.
Yeah,
I will not apologize for my strength.
I could use the voice, but I'm just going to let you breathe to death.
Reverse into the fireplace.
But I did like the one line is really good.
Back it up, Terry.
Put it in reverse, Terry. But there was the good line where she says, if you had followed me, it wouldn't be the sisterhood that towers above the Imperium. It would be House Harkonnen. Like she was trying to, she could have used her skills for the fam.
The camera does linger on his ring when he dies.
It does.
Is there some importance to that ring that I don't remember, that I can't recall?
I don't know. We got the ring from Sister Raquella. That was important for her to like take control of the sisterhood. I don't know.
Okay.
I assume it's going to go to Harrow.
Oh, you know what? Maybe it's that. Yeah, it's Harrow because in the Dune movies, Paul has his dad's ring to signify that he's the Duke of Atreides. So maybe that's the Duke.
And they all use like the wax seals is how they sign stuff.
Yeah. Is that a ducal?
Ducal signet.
Ducal signet.
The ducal signet, but he's the Baron. Anyway. Any hoozle.
And then.
So this is where we got. So this is the skill that Theodosia had. And she brought her so she could pretend to talk to her brother? That's what the big reveal. I'm so confused.
I don't understand. So Griffin walks in. He's like, no, I understood what it took for you to get here. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
She's a face dancer?
And she's like,
that's what I think. Yeah.
Oh, Griffin.
Face dancers are not what Theodosia is, though.
What do you mean?
The fuck's a face dancer?
So I was going to save this for.
Well, we can save it for Burning Truth, but like my understanding.
But face dancers are like a quick little.
They're like Mystique.
Yeah, they're like Mystique or like the faceless men in Game of Thrones. They can change their appearance and stuff.
But like it's not magic. They like physically have more muscles and stuff in their face.
They're like they're human enough, but not human enough to where they can be considered not human anymore.
Yes,
genetically.
They're called shape changers. They're also called Jadaka hermaphrodites. But they're a sterile race, so they can't breed, of metamorphic transhumans engineered by the Bene Tiliacs.
Tililaxu.
Born from
Tililaxu.
They're born from Axioti tanks.
What is going on here? Am I having
unable to breed on their own? That's what it looks like, axolotl. There's, I don't know, man. So I'm saying.
Yeah, so face dancers, my understanding is, and this, again, Brian Herbert's in the corner just licking his chops waiting to come down on me hard here because this is a part of Dune lore that I'm not super familiar with, but my understanding is like the face dancers aren't even around at this time. I always thought they were a thing that was around like Leto Atreides II, the God Emperor Leto Atreides, but I could be wrong about that. Maybe this is a very early version of what a face dancer is. I don't know. It's interesting. I actually, so before this episode started, I saw it on Threads. I don't even know who posted this, but they were saying like cast and crew of Dune Prophecy are really excited about the latest episode of Dune. They're excited because there's a dance off in it. And I got really excited, like, ooh, is that true? I would love to see the sisterhood dancing like that. They're using the voice like, what up this time? Slide to the right. Crisscross. Everybody clap your hands. Like, I thought that's what we were going with, but no, face dancing, I guess, was the cheeky little hint that thread was about. So it's interesting. But to your point, Andy, I don't understand why the whole purpose of Theodosia's face dancing abilities to transform into other people is just to give her a fucking pep talk from her dead brother.
Well, she's sending her to go do something, obviously, and she turns into something else when she walks out the door, and it kind of looks like Desmond. It's hard to tell.
I think she just turns back to herself because the last shot is her going, and it's like the silhouette of her and her hair, like it's her hair and stuff.
Yeah, but then she keeps walking, and she's still Bernie face, and then like it looks blonde when she walks out. I think that she turned into Desmond. I think. So it's going to be like, go pretend to be him and go talk to the Emperor and do some things. Like, I don't think that the whole point of her being there is like, I needed some therapy.
It's like, while you're at it, could you turn into my brother?
But also, like, did she ask her to do that? Or like, what the fuck is going on in this scene?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's a very interesting way to reveal that Theodosia can shapeshift.
She says, if you're willing to make the sacrifice, so will I. And she says, did I push you too far?
But it is time for our Spice Melange moments, our top 3 favorite moments of the episode. Andy,
yes.
What is your number 3?
My number 3 is going to be Harrow's invitation to the High Council when the school bullies show up and they're like, well, if you can come hang out with us, but you got to, put a pickle up your ass and walk 10 feet.
Should I do that?
I just loved Harrow playing the fish out of water. I thought that he was super entertaining and fun, and like I felt bad for him. And even though he's a Harkonnen, I'm still like, oh, poor little guy.
Poor little guy.
But yeah, it was just a fun, funny scene of him like, what the fuck do I do? This is crazy.
Steve?
My number 3 is in that scene, but specifically it's when he turns around and goes, outstanding work. So good. Harrow's the best.
I think that would be my number 2. And then my number 1, I know for sure, but I don't know what my 3, what's something else I liked?
I don't know. What else did you like? Did you like the paint and sip scene?
I did not.
Like,
that was silly as fuck.
Did you like the opening dream sequence?
I did. I'm going to go number 3 is the opening dream sequence with Emmeline, who we know for sure is Emmeline, is a character we love.
Yeah.
It's almost going to kill herself.
Everyone in the Emmeline hive, rise up.
That's my number 3. Andy, you're number 2.
My number 2 is the getting high and drawing pictures in class scene. Just 'cause when they start like
Spice
chanting and
crackers.
stuff, and she's like, "You all need to wake up," and they're all like,
One of the girls was overacting, and it just kind of.
One of them? There were at least 3 of them in the back who are like, just making meals of it. It was
looked
so
like a-
funny to watch them. And they were always like they were the last girl in the frame too.
It looked like a Taylor Swift meet and greet in there, you know?
It just made me think of like Sinister, where the little girl keeps drawing the Mr. Boogeyman and all the family drawings and stuff. I was like, I don't know. There's something creepy about like drawing things and being like, oh, I don't remember drawing that. It's always fun.
Yes, indeed.
Steve, you're number 2.
My number 2 is the scene you guys fucking hate.
The inhaler scene?
Valya and Evgeny arguing with each other. And I'm man enough to admit my own flaws, and that is that I love Mark Addy unconditionally. And so most of my enjoyment of the scene is just Mark Addy just laying it on thick, just rolling after her slowly in a circle. That's entertainment to me. And also the fact that I didn't realize that she took his inhaler and just thought he shouted at her to death.
The Pope might be French, but Jesus is English. Jesus is Harkonnen. My number 2 is the outstanding work scene when he is so giddy to be a member of the High Council. And he's, oh, I get to play with the big
I'm a big
boys.
boy.
Good job, Auntie. I never doubted you for a moment until, well, a lot recently.
It was all week.
Honestly, I didn't believe you at all until just now. I'm really sorry about that.
Standing work.
Andy, your favorite moment of episode 4?
It's gotta have to be the Landsraad when Desmond like stands up and says it wasn't, murder, it was an execution, and there will be no more excuses, and fucking just burns everybody in front. Desmond just fucking crushes it every time he's on screen, and he's so like maniacal and evil, and it's the best kind of bad guy because I'm rooting for him above anybody. That scene's pretty dope.
Goddamn right, Andy.
That's my favorite scene too, like Desmond at the Landsraad, like the way he just sort of commands the audience. Like, it's kind of funny because when he starts talking, my first thought was like, that's pretty bold of this guy just to kind of step up and be like, I'm talking for the Emperor. I killed the boy. It was an execution.
I got this, Papa.
Yeah, hold up, Papa Bear. I got it. But I mean, he is like a very charismatic figure, and he, in this scene in particular, you're kind of like just glued to him, and he's such a dangerous, unstable figure. So you don't really know exactly what he's going to do, and so you're on the edge of your seat whenever he like pops off like this. And I really like the metaphor with Shai Hulud being the devil, and we need to scare away all the other predators, that kind of stuff. And that's my number 1 scene as well.
My number 1 is that scene as well. I do think specifically like his the metaphor with all the desert creatures and stuff. It was so well done, and I didn't mind the CGI eye stuff. It was like it was more interesting in concept probably than in their execution. But I did appreciate like, the film nerd part of me could picture them smoking ciggies and drinking Diet Coke. Like, oh, what if we went in one eye and out the other? And like, just like, do it, dude. Fuck yeah.
Go for it.
I liked it a lot.
Do the thing.
But it was the closest I got to just really having a great time with episode 4 for sure. It was like, oh, neat. But I'm also just so concerned anytime he burns anybody with how this fits into the universe lore that I'm like, okay. Oh, they're really doing it. He's like, okay.
You can just do it at will. But it hurts him. It does hurt him. It's an owie.
It doesn't feel good.
It's a boo-boo. It's a boo-boo.
Like our explanation with the face dancers, like they try so hard to have a pseudoscientific reason for everything. Like, oh, they have more nerve endings and facial muscles than they're born that way, or they were engineered genetically that way, whatever.
Yeah, genetically engineered.
So what is the explanation for him being able to do that pseudoscientifically? I don't know.
He drinks lots of Fireball cinnamon whiskey.
It's a cream in it.
He goes,
It's the cream in it solution. It's all cinnamon. It's the cinnamon that hurts him.
It's the barrel aged Fireball too.
I can do it, Emperor, but I get severe heartburn every time. That's it for our Spice Melange moments, which brings us to our burning truths. I kind of spilled the beans on the face dancer there, but I was trying really hard to understand it, Steve.
I don't know, was there anything else you want to talk about? We kind of
I don't know if you looked up
the basics of it.
I don't think it's worth talking about what a mentat is and stuff. I think we've already done that. But I am curious if you did any research on like House Yasu and Hegel and Gangbala and Vernius and Yelferks.
I did so all of them are mentioned in the Dune world as far as I can tell. But the only ones that had any sort of substantial information behind them are House Hegel.
Oh, please. I want to know more about Yelferks.
Yelferks is not one of the ones I found more information on. If you guys have more information on them, please send them my way. But yeah, House Hegel was one of the great houses. It was a planet that was rich in gemstones, and it's like industry is like mining those gemstones. By the time of Paul Atreides, that house has fallen out of like relevance because they mined all their gems, so they don't like really have any income. But they're like super in with the Emperor. So even by the time of Paul's time, they're still relatively important, just nowhere near as important as they are in this period of Dune. Let's see. The other house was
Gangbala. Did you get that one?
No. Hold on. Where are my notes? Vernius. I think we talked about Vernius before. Yeah, they specialize in technological innovations, and they are economic rivals of House Richese. So that like those two houses are kind of competing against one another.
Is Vernius the one that got executed?
I'm not 100% sure what that guy's name was. I didn't catch who he was
Because
specifically.
Yelferks has been in the previous episode.
Mhm.
He's the one whose sister talked about like House Carino. It doesn't matter, but because they like a lot of those houses that were mentioned have been in the plot.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But I mean, the other ones I couldn't really find anything worth talking about more than like, yep, they're there.
Yeah, I mean, Gangbala and Yelferks, just from my quick research, look like they're Dune Prophecy inventions because only Dune Prophecy comes up when you type those in. So,
I also looked into the Ixian. What was his name?
Ixians.
What was his name?
Dury, don't worry.
Dury, don't worry. No, Ix is a planet. It's one of the planets that was actually kind of not really part of the Butlerian Jihad. So it was relatively spared considering when in relation to the other planets where they still had some of their technology when that war ended, but they were just kind of like, oh yeah, we're cool. We don't do thinking machines. Wink. So they're very well known for being like super into complex machinery and stuff. And in later books, I know Leto Atreides II kind of has like a little bit of a beef with them because they're worried they're going to start creating thinking machines all over again. But they're well known for their technology. The Ixians are. And also, I found this little tidbit about a Solari. The currency in the Dune world is a Solari. And I looked it up to see like if there was any sort of like measure for how
The exchange rate?
the exchange rate of a Solari is. Yeah. And I just thought this was interesting that on the Imperial market, spice melange went as high as 620,000 Solaris per decagram. So spice is
Damn.
expensive as fuck.
Damn.
So there you go.
And there's hella spice.
Yeah.
On
It flows for it must.
I just immediately thought of Josh Brolin saying, "Can you imagine the wealth?
Oh,
80
lastly,
years."
they mentioned the rules of Conley. Do you guys know what the rules of Conley are?
In the specifically the what else did he call it? There's another euphemism he used. The strictures of vendetta. Sorry. But go on.
Yeah. It's basically the scriptures of vendetta. Like, basically the two great houses can't like fight each other unless they do like a formal announcement of it. And it's like almost like sort of, if you're going to fight each other, there are rules like so that your battle doesn't spread across the rest of the houses. So you can have like a gentleman. It's almost like two houses having a duel, but throughout the whole family, right?
Which is why using the Sardaukar to help take out the Atreides was against the scriptures of vendetta.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. So that's I just kind of need to see them call out the Conley rules.
Well, who's Conley?
I don't know.
That's fair. Me neither. Well, that brings us to our Lisan al-Gaib.
Spice Girl.
As written, we end every episode with our nomination for our favorite performance of the episode. Andy,
Yes.
to whom are you going to gift this lofty award?
I'm going to give it to Edward Davis, who plays Harrow Harkonnen. He was just fun. He had one role and he played it well. It was a good time.
I'm not knocking that at all.
That's
a good
great
choice.
pick. I respect that a lot.
Steve, is there any chance you don't give it to Mark Addy?
Yeah, actually.
Did you give it to Mark Addy last week?
No, I think I gave it to...
We gave it to young Tula.
Yeah.
I think both of us.
Yeah, we gave it to young Tula last week. No, surprisingly, I didn't give it to Mark Addy this week.
Interesting. What are you going to do?
I'm giving it to Travis Fimmel this week.
Travis Fimmel. Okay.
I think he did some really good work. I mean, I was glued into that scene he had. Like I said, he's a very unstable character, so he's always fascinating, and I'm always wondering where he's going to go with this character. And he's great at playing this creepy zealot, basically. And so I'm going to give it to him this time. Congrats, Travis.
I am going to give it to Travis Fimmel as well, but with a caveat. Shout out to Sarah Sophie Busnina, who plays Inez. I know I've given the character of Inez shit throughout this show, but I really thought she was really good in this episode, and I came close to really caring about her character. I don't mean that. I didn't mean that sounded really backhanded. And also Shalom Brune Franklin, who plays Michaela. I think she's interesting as well, and I wish she had more screen time, because I think that's fascinating that she's probably Fremen, and it's, she's in the sisterhood. The sister rebel. I want more about what's going on there.
That's an interesting character that they could really mine some juice out of, but they kind of don't.
No, she's just kind of there to yell at Kieran, who's not interesting at all.
No,
occasionally it looks like she's jealous, but then it turns out that her jealousy was actually the fact that she's working for the sisterhood. So him talking to Inez was just like interesting to her, I guess. I don't know. But again, there's so much kind of mystery there that it doesn't appear that we'll ever get. But just shout out to those two. But yeah, I think Travis Fimmel's monologue in this was so effective that I would be remiss if I did not gift the Lisan al-Gaib award to him. So we've got 2 episodes left. Next Monday, the following Monday. That's it for Dune Prophecy. This Friday, make sure to watch Severance episode 1 of season 1, because that begins.
That's such a great show. If you've not seen it, seek it out. It's so good.
I was so pleased with my rewatch, because it's been long enough where it's really fresh. And I was like, fuck, this is good. The writing is so... But I know enough about what will happen that I can focus on other oh, that's such a good line. You know, this, and it was so much fun to watch that. So I can't wait to start that. That's this Friday. This Wednesday, Patreon only, is Game of Thrones episode 7 of season 3. And write in, we're going to have a vote soon, what shows you'd like to hear us cover. In addition, if we have some extra time coming up.
If we have time.
Yeah, we don't know.
We don't know. When and if.
But that's all the time we have for right now, for sure. We've got to go return some videotapes. My name is Kit.
I'm Andy. And I'm Steve.
And this was Streaming Things, streaming Dune Prophecy.
Happy streaming.